One, two, three, four. You say you stand by your man. You tell me something I don't understand. You said you love me, and that's a fact. And then you left me.
Hello there, Tony Medley once again, and welcome back to my workshop. Today's project is for the beginners again, or the newbies, and I'm going to show you how I hollow. A lot of people find it difficult. I find it quite easy. But please, before we say anything, before I get any nasty comments, my channel, I do not get paid by any manufacturer whatsoever. If I recommend something on one of my channels, it's because it works well for me. No other reason. I don't get paid, I don't get free tools, I do not get discounts on any tools whatsoever. So today I'm going to show you how I hollow. I'll give you the names of the manufacturers who I get it from, and a lot will be Simon Hope. Simon Hope makes excellent tools. They are expensive, no getting away from it, but they actually do work well. They work well for me. I think they're worth that extra little bit of money. So if I use more Simon Hope tools than anything, it's not because he's paying me or giving me a discount. I do it because I like it. Works well for me and I like them. I use different types of tools. I'm not saying I'm going to use all Simon Hope tools, but I'm going to go through every type of different hollowing system. I've got a hollowing system, and I'll use that. I'll also use his tools. I'll also use traditional tools. So without further ado, we'll get started. Right, before we start hollowing, I always find it easier if we can drill a hole in and then we hollow from the outside. So if possible, always use a Forstner bit or whatever, a normal drill, just to drill through, and you'll find it a lot easier to do it that way. I'm going to turn the video off because it's just like watching paint dry, watching me drill through, so you've got the idea. I've hollowed, or should I say, I've drilled the piece, and you can see it's a good 6 inches inside. It's near enough to, it's about half an inch from the bottom. Now the first tool that we're going to use is the traditional ball gouge. This is how I do it. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong. It's what works well for me. Now I've got that spinning at 600 revs per minute. Now when you present the tool, stand with, as I keep saying, this 20 inches apart. Make sure that your tool rest is well and truly locked down, and start with that being a 90-degree angle. Now when you present the tool to the wood, it wants to push back, so put your hand there to make sure, and pull the bottom in towards you. Then rotate the tool until that is about 2 o'clock. Nice and gentle. So what works well for me is you start it at 90 degrees and then turn it round till that is approximately 2 o'clock. So we start again at 90 degrees, till it's cooked well, then turn it round, and then pull the back end of the tool around. Again, we'll take a little bit more up, 90 degrees, till you get a mark on it, turn it round at 2 o'clock, and again, we'll just do that at the end there. I'm just going to lower that tool rest because it doesn't seem to be cutting as good. I'll just very, very slightly, and it does make a big difference at 5mm. Just try to keep getting all of the cleaning the centre out. So again, about 2 o'clock. And what we're doing again, we're rubbing that bevel on with the cut as well. Right, and obviously all you do is just keep going in, a little bit at a time, and the idea is, or the secret is, not to be greedy, and nice and slow, and we've got all the time in the world. Right, so that'll do for the traditional tools. Right, another type of should I say another technique, is to use the 8mm Simon Hope Oliver, and if you'll see, that is a square bar, but it's positioned, or it's tooled, it's been milled so that that sits directly onto the tool rest, and then the cutter is presented to the piece at a 45-degree angle at all times. So it's at its optimum cutting, and I like this one. It's nice for just doing shallow hollowing. So I'll just show you how this one works. You put the tool rest so that is just cutting on the bottom of the cutter, is cutting on centre. So you put that on, hold the tool, and as you can see there is no fear of getting a cut. You can turn that, over to at a 45-degree angle, and you'll cut right on the edge. I'm just going to let the tool rest down slightly. I think it needs to go down very, very slightly. It's surprising what that couple of mil makes. You can see it's surprising how much it's taken off. Again, just put a bit of pressure with this hand. There's no need to fight it because it ain't going to go anywhere. And you can see how much is coming out. It is a very effective way of hollowing. So that is the 8mm tool. The next one what I'm going to use is a 6mm hollower. I must say that the blades do last a long time, or the new cutting discs. I'm just going to pull that out a little bit. And exactly again, you need to be cutting at a 45-degree angle. So, turn it on, and what I must say is that this seems to take out, you would think that the 8mm would take more out than the 6, but this is the chappy what seems to do. It's a lot more hungrier than what the 8mm is. The good thing about this one, you can go much deeper, but you have to be very, very careful because it is so aggressive. Move that up a touch. Down a little touch. as I say, a 45-degree angle for the optimum cooking. You can go right in. You can see how much it's hollowing out at it. And if you're nice and patient, you will get it. You'll get it out of there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to set up the Simon Hope hollowing system. I'm going to do that. I'm going to turn the video off and then come back to you, and you will see. It's for deep hollowing, you know, it's got a extended arm and you can go right to the bottom. It's got a video system and you can see exactly where you're going. But I must say, that is just as good if you're nice and careful and plenty of patience. That will go as deep as you want. It'll go to that depth, no problems whatsoever. You just have the tool rest right up to the piece itself. And then that, you've still got enough. And you will go nice and gentle right the way through, and I don't think you will be disappointed with that too. Right, this is the Simon Hope hollowing system, and I absolutely love it. I'll demonstrate it in a little while, and all we have to do is put the tool rest about ½ inch away from the piece. But the most important part, as I said before, is getting that, and it's looking down slightly. It's looking down about 15 degrees. So when you put it in, you just turn that round to get it at its optimum cutting thing. I think 45, but that's the ideal. 45 is the ideal optimum cutting angle. However, you want this about from, if that's 90. You want it down about 15 degrees. Now what I'm going to do now, I will just show you how it works without the camera system, and then later on we will put the camera on. But I'm just going to, you don't need the camera system on yet because you've still got lots of meat on. It's only to get you to the desired thickness of the wall. So I'll just demonstrate how it actually cuts. Right, we'll turn it on. And all you do is you put it in, and right, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to stop it and we'll see how much you can see how much it's taken off. It's surprising how much it takes off. It's absolutely wonderful. So we'll just take a bit more off, and then once we get it to say 3/4 of an inch off the wall thickness, then we'll set the camera system and you'll see how that one works. It's absolutely superb. Once again, we'll clean it out just to show how much it's actually taken out. I think you'll agree with me on how much it takes off. It doesn't take long to hollow something out like that. The good thing about it, there's no strain on your shoulders. I know I'm getting on a little bit now, but the traditional hollowing tends to hurt my shoulders, where this is a bit more relaxed. What we do is mark, I don't know whether you can see that, you mark the tip and the blade or the cutter onto the screen. You can see that's the cutter. And what you do then, you place that up against the desired thickness. So you make the thickness what you want to make of the wood, and in this case it's about 8 mm. Then what you do is mark on the screen the bottom line. So from there to there is the thickness. Now as I push it in, if I put it in, because I've only gone in about 2 inches, if I put it to there, you can see that obviously that's where you need to go to. So you move that line, I'll just get my pen, you move, you hollow until that line goes to the outside of the vessel. And now we'll demonstrate it. Keep that bottom line to the thickness that you want. Just going to clean some of the rubbish out. Once you've hollowed it to the desired depth and the thickness, what we need to do then is just change the cutting device or the cutting tool, and we then use a scraper. Just take that out, place that somewhere safe. Now the scraper is this thing here, you can see there. It's quite an effective scraper, and all we're going to do is put that on till it's roughly in the position on the screen there of where the cutter is. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what we do to mark it. So just nip that up. That has to be down a couple of degrees, probably 15 degrees, as we said with the cutter. And then nip that up in its rightful position. Right, now what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to swap the camera angle and I'll show you how we mark the screen. So all we're going to do now is just mark the screen, and clean the screen with a little bit of methylated spirit. Make sure that it's nice and clean. And then what we're going to do is we're going to mark off the cutter. So the best way to do it is to put something white underneath it. And you will see it shows up. And all we're going to do now is mark, just turn this round a bit, mark the scraper itself. Right, once we've got the scraper marked, all we're going to do is put that on the inside of the desired, and then mark off, I'll just have to turn this round a bit, then mark off the thickness, or the desired thickness. It's exactly the same principle. Just turn that round so you can see it, hopefully. It's exactly the same principle as the cutter, and all we're going to do now is just scrape along the inside and get the desired finish. So, wherever you go in, and then nice and gentle, right away along the edge. Now, right at the bottom there, I didn't go right there, so you can see that's not, and that's where it comes to, it's got a bit of a rounded edge now. And follow it round, all the way around. And that's the video hollowing system, and I must say I've never had a failure with it yet. You can make this as thick as you want it, so if you only wanted it say 3mm thick, then that would be the distance from that cutting edge to the edge of the vessel itself. Well, I hope I explained that okay. I'm not so sure. As you can see, you get a lovely finish. I could have cleaned it off, but to be perfectly honest, there was the desired scraping effect that you get on there. It's just ready for sanding now. So as I said, you can make that whatever thickness you want to do, and it's just a lovely machine. What I didn't say is when you're marking the screen, it's got a protective film on it, and all you do, you mark it with a Sharpie pen, you don't damage it, and then you just clean it off as many times as you want. So anyway, as I said, you can go to the depth that you want. It's a nice, safe way of doing things. As you see me on the video, there was even no need for any, I normally have goggles on. I normally wear goggles if I'm doing, you know, that's the minimum safety requirement that I normally use. But when you're hollowing, because you're that far back, you're probably three feet away, that there's no need for anything like that. There's no bits of sawdust comes and catches you in the eye. It's just a nice, safe way of working. And especially me getting on in years now, obviously I don't have any shoulder pain and it's just a nice relaxing way of hollowing. So I know that they're expensive, and I'm not advocating that you go out and buy one, but they are a very, very nice luxury indeed. So I hope that's cleared up a little bit of the myths, and everybody seems to be frightened about hollowing. You've got no fears whatsoever. So anyway, without all I can say now is hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to catch up with you on the next video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Click the notification buttons if you want YouTube to notify you every time I release a new video. And please, if you like what I'm doing, give me the thumbs up. It means a lot to me, and all I can say is thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Bye.